Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we will have a long-awaited video when I gonna answer your questions. I asked you under my previous video to ask me all the questions you want, everything that you are interested in about my life and life in Russia. So finally today I'm gonna answer everything as much as I can. There were many awesome questions. Thank you for asking them, guys. You're amazing. I probably won't be able to answer them all because there were many of them, but I will try to go through as much as I can, and possibly if everything will go good, maybe I will make the second part of it. We will see. So let's look at the questions. I had to write everything here because I don't have other phone to check on them while filming. Anyway, so I don't really know in which order I should answer everything, so I will just answer one by one. Okay, so the first question, which countries have you visited? So Russia is my home country, then I visited, let's see, Poland, Bulgaria, Austria, Germany, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Italy, Spain, and France. And from all of them, I possibly know the best Czech Republic because I was living there, and Germany because I've been there like in 10 cities probably. Next question, how tall are you? Do you prefer winter or summer? I'm 163 centimeters and I would say I prefer summer, even though I'm not really sure. I also like winter. If the question would be, do you prefer very cold or very hot, I would answer very cold because I just really don't love heat at all. Do you have any siblings? Love your channel. Thank you very much. And no, I don't have any siblings. I'm the only child. In which country did you live and what is your profession? So if you are new here, I was born and raised in Russia, in Siberia, Novosibirsk. And then I moved to Prague, Czech Republic to study and stay there for a long time, for almost 17 years. And what is my profession? Well, I guess currently I am a YouTuber, but as well there were many questions asking what I was studying. And yes, I went to university, and actually I went to multiple universities. But I pretty much was studying the same thing there. First I was studying sociology, and then I was studying social and media communications, things like marketing and so on. So I have a bachelor in social and media communications. Not a question, but I would like a wardrobe tour. I like your aesthetics. Well, thank you very much. Although I really don't consider myself being good in fashion. Maybe I do have some style, but I'm not even sure. And sometimes I'm buying clothes for myself, but usually I would end up wearing like 3 clothes over and over again until they would just disintegrate. Did your sons adjust quickly to moving to Russia? Do they miss anything about Europe? Well, again, if you're new here, I have 2 sons. One is 14, another one is 7 now. And answering the question, I would say that my younger son adapted just perfectly. And for older son, it was much harder. He still misses his friends there, his classmates, and, well, probably the style of life over there because, well, he spent many years only living there. And my younger son is just also have quite different personality. He's really outgoing, he loves to try new things, and he really just enjoys being here. So yes, for older son it was harder, for younger it was much easier. Do they miss anything about Europe? Well, as I said, my older son misses his friends obviously, and probably he would prefer the weather to be warmer so he can be outdoors more. And generally he misses his usual routine when he would go to school, after go with the friends to some mall and some sport playgrounds. Here everything is a little bit different. And my younger son, well, he probably mostly misses his favorite ramen spot. How do you provide for your family? Well, now it's mostly YouTube. YouTube is my primary job right now. I don't work any other job. Someone was also asking if I have a job or if I consider working. Well, it was originally the plan that when I will return to Russia after some time, I would need to find some job, obviously. But for now, YouTube is going quite good. And well, it's actually a full-time job, guys. It requires a lot of time and effort as well as any other job. So I'm considering it my main job now. Do your family feel safe in Russia? Like to hear it from your perspective. Yes, I can speak for myself and I feel safe in Russia. In terms of crime, I never actually encountered anything criminal here. I do feel safe walking on the streets. I would actually say people act here much more normal in comparison with what I sometimes saw in Europe. Also, for example, you would rarely meet here people acting crazy in metro or any other public transport. I think mostly people here don't laugh when someone else acting deviant in public, and they don't encourage it in any way, so everyone just acts normal and it makes me feel really calm and safe. And also, for example, I almost never meeting homeless people on the street. I probably saw just one from all these months being back here. Also make the situation on the streets much more pleasant. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Do you have Black Friday in Russia? Yes, we do. Well, it's obviously something that we adopted from the West, but nowadays the sellers use it a lot. Do you have any hobbies? How old are you? Well, my hobbies. To be honest, I don't really have much time for hobbies right now. I'm barely able to make everything I'm planning to make. In terms of work, kids, and all the errands I need to run. As well, I recently went to study for driving license. But in general, I always was a creative person. I always loved singing. I loved being on the stage, dancing as well. I also go in sometimes to dance classes to dance salsa. What else? I love reading, but I don't really have much time for it right now as well. I love walking a lot, just walk around the city. I love watching YouTube and TV shows whenever I have free time. Oh, also I love hiking in nature. However, it was much easier to do it in Prague. All the infrastructure there for hiking was just amazing, and here is not that popular, I would say, so I'm quite missing it, to be honest. Oh, also I love writing, and maybe someday I would love to write a book. I don't even know what about, but I really like this idea. Yeah. Oh, and how old am I? I'm 37 and my birthday was on October 13th. How low will the temperature drop in the coming months? Well, I'm not really sure anymore because it seems like the climate is changing everywhere and here as well. Now winters are much more warmer. Now it's mid of December and the lowest it dropped, it was -21, but usually now it's like -5, -10 maximum. And as far as I remember what was before I left, now is much more warmer. But usually the average temperature here in Novosibirsk is about -20 in winter, and the lowest, which I personally experienced, it was when I was little, it was -45. What are the nationalities of the fathers of your children? My older one is half Czech and my younger one is half Mexican. How do you celebrate Christmas? Well, if you know, guys, we are Orthodox here, so we don't celebrate the Catholic Christmas, but the Orthodox one, and it's on January 7th. But as well, for us, for Russians, the main holiday of the year is probably not Christmas, but the New Year's Eve. It's when the whole country celebrates hard, and it's probably equal to how you celebrate your Christmas. So, yeah. We would gather with the families for New Year's Eve, we would eat delicious food, we would do fireworks and stuff like this. And it's gonna be on December 31st. Someone was also asking if I will decorate my house, if I will put a Christmas tree. Well, yeah, I already did just recently, last week. And we also don't call it the Christmas tree, we call it New Year's tree. So we actually decorate it for New Year's as well, not for Christmas. Your apartment looks beautiful, wonderful renovations. Thank you so much, guys. If you don't know, we recently moved to this apartment with my kids and we had to renovate it all. It was in a horrible state. And if you are curious, I have videos about this on my channel. You can check it out. And I was filming all the process. And I received a lot of compliments from you guys on my renovations. Thank you so much, guys. I know it's not perfect, but I was really trying my best with my resources. And as well, there were a lot of similar questions of where is my living room or sitting room. Well, guys, here in Russia, we don't really have living rooms. For us, the living room is the kitchen, basically. I mean, of course, nowadays people do have living rooms, especially if they have like bigger apartment or if they're just, for example, let's say a couple who have one bedroom and one living room. But for me and my kids, I needed to make use of both of the rooms. So one is my room, another room is theirs room. And that's why we don't have living room, because no rooms remained. And that's actually quite common for Russia. It goes back to Soviet Union when people were given the apartments and usually they would have kids and one room will be theirs, another room will be kids' room, and there were no other rooms. And I think it actually were made strategically back then, so the people would not spend too much time chilling, in their apartments, but rather working on some factories and some workspaces. As well, I think it was not like a part of the culture back then to, relax too much. The main thing back then was like working and achieving results and being productive. And people who were actually like lazy and were doing nothing were shamed and were even considered like non-wanted elements of society. But now, of course, it's different, and if you have finances to buy a bigger apartment, of course, people doing whatever they want. It's just me, we're not able to move to a bigger apartment currently, so that's why we are having this space and we're using it the best we can. Inflation is hitting Russia hard. Are you badly affected by it, or is it still manageable in Siberia? I'm not sure where you got this information actually, that inflation is hitting Russia hard. As far as I heard, in comparison with other countries, especially with European countries and US, I know that inflation in Russia is just minimal. If I'm not mistaken, on the opposite, we even showed some economic growth the previous year. But speaking as just a regular citizen of Russia, I would say that people's life was always not easy here, especially starting, let's say, from the 90s with all this crisis and then the fall of USSR and all the instability that was following it and the default of ruble. I think like since then it never was easy for people here. But I think people here are just used for everything to be quite unstable. Just you would not surprise Russians with all that in comparison with people on the West, as far as I see now. Somehow people here were always able to manage, although sometimes I don't even know how. Have you been doing any dating? And as well, the similar question is, how is dating, especially as a single mom of two? Well, the answer is no, I have not been doing any dating. Not that I'm against it, it's just actually never in my life I wasn't really dating, I don't know why even. Instead, I just had 2 serious relationships and that's pretty much it. The reason for me not dating is just simply because I don't have time for it. And it's really not a priority for me, like never was for some reason. I always was a little different in this matter, I guess. For me, my main priority was always like self-fulfillment, doing something valuable with my life, with my time here. And dating, well, I think it's just when the time is right, the person is right, it will just happen by itself somehow. So I was never really doing some conscious effort in this area, let's say. But as well, guys, I feel like I'm changing in past years and I'm adopting new beliefs and new habits. So who knows, maybe one day I will start dating as well, if I ever have time for it. There were a lot of questions of what am I eating, how my diet looks like, and why do I cook separate meals for myself and my sons, and why we rarely eat together. If you were watching my channel for some time already, you probably know that I'm eating the certain foods. Basically, I only eat meats, any type of meat and fish, and I eat fruits. There is a reason for that. I was talking about this in my previous videos. Basically, it's for health reasons. I was having multiple symptoms like anxiety, IBS, pains in my body, and so on. So I decided to try out diet for it, and it did help a lot. So that's why it's how I'm eating right now. And that's why I'm cooking separate meals for me and my sons, because they are on normal average diet. They don't have any specific food restrictions, and also they like different types of food from me. So I'm just trying to cook as healthy as I can for them, not really restricting anything. And why we eat separate is because all three of us are having really different schedules. My younger son goes to his kindergarten in the first part of the day, and my older son goes to his school in the second part of the day. And so they rarely actually meet at the same time to have food, but sometimes they do. And me as well, I don't usually eat like 3 meals a day like normal human beings. I usually eat like 2, so they are also like off hours. So that's why. Meal today: eggs, hidden salad, and some steak. Hello, here from Southern California. Will you ever visit United States? Yes, I will definitely visit United States. I always wanted to. I'm very curious how you live there, guys, and so I definitely will in the future. Do you track macros? No, I don't. You have lived somewhere else apart of Russia. How do you feel about the differences? Yes, as I said, I lived in Prague, and about the differences, I feel like it needs the whole separate video to answer this question. I actually feel that life here and in Europe differs a lot in probably each and every way. In Europe, let's say, it was definitely much more comfortable life in terms of everything, in terms of living conditions, public transport, well, everything. And here, generally, the life is harder for people, for average people, I would say. However, I would not consider myself being an average person because, well, my life is quite different from everyone else's life here. First of all, I was living abroad for a long time. Second, I'm a YouTuber now, which is also rare. Otherwise, generally, my daily life looks very similar. Is the war affecting you in a personal way? Well, I'm not really sure how to answer it. I would say no, it does not affect me personally because none of the people who I would know or who is my close circle is a part of it. But of course, war is never good news, and I just hope everything will be over soon. What are your favorite books, favorite perfume? For a long time, my favorite book was Gone with the Wind, but now I'm not sure anymore. As I said, I rarely have time to read books as well, and my tastes quite changed. I also loved classics like Jane Eyre, like books from Charles Dickens. I loved Tom Sawyer from Mark Twain. I also like Carlos Castaneda though. Oh, and about the perfume, I don't really use perfumes too often now, and I don't actually have anything with me here in Russia. I left everything back there in Prague. But from what I was smelling recently, I like the one called The Scent from Hugo Boss. What are your plans for the next 5 years? I'm not really sure about the 5 years, but from my nearest future, I would like to complete my driving courses and receive a driving license. I would like to buy a car, and I would like to travel Russia on it and film cool videos for you guys. I also would like to move to my own house, so it won't be the apartment but the house somewhere on the soil in nature. That would be great. I also would like to travel. I'm not really obsessed with traveling, but I would definitely love to visit some new destinations. And personally, for me, I always dreamed of being a famous singer, so maybe I will revisit this dream. What camera do you use? I love the quality of your video. Thank you so much. I'm using my iPhone 13. Hello, I really like your channel. Thank you. I want to start YouTube too. How did you learn to edit and all that? Prior to this channel, I also had another one where I would make tutorials for macrame. Prior to that, I also was making some videos of events like parties and so on. So I just learned to edit while doing that, and there are a lot of apps for editing and they are pretty intuitional there. It's not that hard at all, I would say. It definitely consumes a lot of time to edit, but it's not that difficult. So I'm wishing you luck with starting your own channel. Few questions about my son's dads. Do your sons have contact with their fathers? Also, I was wondering about the boys' dads. Will they visit or do they help you? Hugs. Hugs to you too. And this one says, will the kids fly to their dads during the school breaks? Yes, kids have the contact with their fathers. They speak with them quite frequently via video calls, and one of the fathers was already visiting for 10 days, and yes, they do help me. And again, yes, they most probably will go and visit fathers during the school breaks. Does average Russian family go on summer vacation, and if so, what are the most common destinations? Nowadays it's harder. I feel like less Russians would go to vacations because of the conflict. Before it was quite popular for Russians to go to Europe, to any European country, but nowadays in vast majority Russians cannot travel there. They are not allowed to enter European countries. That's why the nowadays most popular destinations are the ones for the vacations on the beach, let's say. So that would be Turkey, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, China as well, maybe some other Asian countries too. Oh, and also United Arab Emirates. Do you have a living room or lunch area? Also, given how cold is it, will you be adding thermal curtains? Makeover is beautiful. Thank you so much. I already answered about the living room situation, and there were a lot of similar questions about curtains as well and another decorative elements like this one, for example. Are you hanging curtains or artwork? And well, about the curtains, I'm not planning to hang the regular curtains which you kind of can close and open like this. I'm thinking to hang the one which is rolling ones, but not for the whole window, but for the each section of the window separately, the thinner ones. But I'm not 100% sure about this yet, but that's what I'm planning, because now in winter it's even fine without any curtains, but in summer I will definitely need them to hide from the sun. And yeah, I definitely need some artwork and some plants in the pots and the cushions for the window sills to make everything more cozy and homey. Are you sure the apartment is from 70s? The original state of the apartment looks like something from 30s or 40s. Yeah, the original state of the apartment was a disaster, and you can check out the transformation in my previous videos. But no, I'm sure the apartment is from 70s. I'm curious, with all the money you spent on this apartment, did you buy this apartment or are you renting? It turned really nice, but I hope they do not raise your rent after all the hard work and money you put in it. In the US, it is duty of the owner of the apartment to pay to have it renovated. How does it work? I don't rent this apartment. This is the apartment which belongs to my mom. That's why, of course, I was renovating it so hardly and invested quite a lot of money in it. Otherwise, of course, if I would be renting it, I would not go that far with the renovations, but also I would never rent the apartment in the state in which it was before. And generally, yes, people would act the same way. They would only pretty much invest in renovating their own apartment or find something to rent which is suitable for them in terms of how it looks and in which state it is. What previous jobs did you have? I have quite a lot of jobs. My longest job, I mean like the office job when I was working for someone else, I was producing conferences and different business events and was working in sales as well, was selling the seats for these events. Wasn't loving the sales part, to be honest. I was never really good in selling anything, especially when working for someone else. After that, I pretty much was working for myself. I had different types of more creative jobs, which I liked more. I was a photographer for some time, making videos as well, and I was teaching people how to do macrame. But my very first jobs were in the clothes store. I was a shop assistant, and then I was also working in jewelry store. What is it like living in Novosibirsk? What do you love most about the city? What is it like? Well, it's cold, it's dusty, the transport is not so good, but the people, I would say, they are much warmer than someplace else where I was living before. But then again, it depends on the certain person, I guess. Honestly, guys, if I would not be in need to being close to my family right now, if my family would not be living in Novosibirsk, I would probably prefer to live in some other city in Russia. I'm not sure which though, but I would like it to be less extreme, definitely. But right now I'm happy that I'm here close to my family. I really needed it. I really needed this time to recover, to heal. If you don't know my story of why I actually returned back to Russia, to Novosibirsk, you can also see it on my channel. I went into detail speaking about it all. I will not repeat it now. But basically, it was really needed for me at that time. And I think I got much better after these 6 months of being here, and I'm feeling much stronger and confident, and probably I'm ready for the next chapter, and that would be for me traveling across Russia, definitely. And maybe looking for some other place to stay long term. We will see. What to do when you are heartbroken? And the same person asks, how do you see love relationships? Well, guys, I don't consider myself being the best person to ask about the love advice. Well, considering that I'm a single mom of 2 kids with different fathers. But answering the first question about being heartbroken, of course, as well, I was heartbroken in my life too. But I think that time heals everything. I don't really think that I was dealing with it very good. I was pretty much going in very not productive behaviors when being heartbroken. Really, it's difficult for me to advise on that. I would say the first step is acceptance of whatever situation you are at now. Maybe cry a while, get it out of yourself, get those hard emotions out of yourself, and then focus on the good things in your life, because there is always something to be grateful for. Focus all your attention on this, and also make yourself the center of your life, so your emotions, your thoughts, and the quality of your life in general will depend on someone else, but rather you will be the creator of everything. And how do I see the love relationships? Well, if you're asking about me, how do I see love relationships for myself? I think it should be the relationship of two people who would respect each other as well as they would respect their self. They also should be kind to each other. Their relationships should be safe. For me, it's very important to feel safe in the relationships. I learned it the hard way, unfortunately. So, unless I will be feeling totally safe and totally like at home with the person, I probably would never again go for any relationship. And for me, being safe in the relationships means that I can be 100% myself and being loved and accepted the way I am. I think that's the basis for me. Without that, no relationships would be possible. But also, I feel like we both should be a person with our own strong interests. We should be really wanting to, to bring some value to this world and working on that. And at the same time, we need to share our certain views and beliefs on life. Like basic views, they should be really similar in order for any relationship to work. That's all advice I can give. Hope that helps. Anyhow, hi Nastya, I was wondering, where did you learn English so well? Thank you so much. I don't think that my English is perfect. I know it's quite okay. Well, how did I learn it? As I said, I was living abroad for many years, and there my main circle of friends, my colleagues, they were English speakers, as well as pretty much people from all around the world. And all together we were speaking English, and that's how I learned it. Of course, I was learning it even before here while studying in school in Russia. We do learn English here. But after it, I would say I was not really able to speak until I actually started to speak with the people on the daily basis. So if you need to master any language, you really need to talk to the people in it. Or also the same person says you must have best fruit in Siberia. Probably you made this assumption based on my videos of how I was shopping for all these fruits. And well, yeah, I cannot complain. In summer, we definitely have amazing fruits here. They mainly are brought from Central Asia, but as well, my granny has a lot of berries in her garden and different stuff as well. In winter, it's a little bit harder. There are only just certain fruits which are good. I mean, you can pretty much now find everything, but it's not gonna be like the best and tastiest. So let's say for winter, we are usually focusing on citruses like tangerines and oranges and certain grapes, but pretty much you can find anything else as well. Hi from Poland. Do boys miss Prague? Hi. And well, I already answered this question. What is your favorite movie that you would recommend anyone to watch? I'm afraid I cannot answer this question, guys, because I don't really watch movies that much nowadays. I used to watch a lot of movies when I was a kid, but now I'm mostly a TV shows girl because I really need something to be continuous. It makes me less stressed somehow. So from the TV shows, probably one of my favorites, recent ones, is Outlander. I like The Last King or The Last Kingdom, something like that. Game of Thrones wasn't that bad. You probably see that I like historical fiction, if that's how it's called. Oh, about the movies, I remember myself liking Fifth Element. Do you see a better future, more opportunities for your kids in Russia? I think, guys, it really depends on the person rather than the place. But as well, I think that you should kind of align with the place. Your internal and external world should kind of match. For example, when I was living in Europe, most people would probably think like I had more opportunities there. But because my two worlds weren't kind of aligned, I was not using them, or I didn't want to use them. I'm not really sure. And now I feel like I'm on the righter place. And what about the kids? I don't know, guys. I will see when they will grow up. But definitely they can decide for themselves when they will be older. I will not hold them definitely here. They can do whatever they want. So with regards to this, I am quite open-minded. Do you go grocery shopping every day? Not every day, but I would go to grocery store quite frequently. Maybe like once a week I would do some big shopping when I would buy everything I can think of, which what I would need for the rest of the week. And then quite frequently, like once in 2 days at least, I would definitely go again to some stores nearby. We have luckily a lot of them. We don't really need to drive far away to the store. Simply because I would need to buy products like milk or bread or something like this, which doesn't last too long. So we always have it fresh and yeah. Okay, guys, there was a lot of questions already that I answered. I will probably answer the last one and we'll wrap it up. So the last question is actually quite a popular one. It's about me eating raw pork. Why would I do it? Is it dangerous? And so on. What I'm eating in my videos, guys, is salo. It's a traditional food for many Eastern European countries. And it is pork fat, but it's not completely raw. Yes, it's raw, but it's cured. It's salted. It could be salted in two different ways, either in salted water or just simply covered in salt for a certain period of time. And I believe this salt pretty much kills everything potentially dangerous in it, so I hope it's safe to eat after it. And I understand your concerns, guys. I actually wasn't a big meat eater like prior to my diet switch. I didn't really like meat that much, but now I'm eating it frequently and I really developed a love for salo as well. It's also because I'm eating really a small amount of carbs right now, and so I need to really rely on fats. That's why I'm eating moderate protein and really high fat diet. And salo is excellent in this, and besides it's like really tasty and it goes amazing with eggs in my opinion, so that's why I'm pretty much eating it every day. And yeah, previously I would not even consider pork being healthy in any way, but in this form it really is. You can look it up, guys. Salo has actually a lot of health benefits. And well, besides, as I said, it's really tasty. If you would like to try it, you can, I'm sure, easily find it in some Russian shop. You can cut it really thin and eat it with dark rye bread. That's usually how people would eat it. Okay, guys, so for today, that's all with the questions. I answered as much as I could today. There were much more of them, and depending on whether you will like the format of this video, if you will find it interesting, I'll probably will make another part of it. So please let me know in the comments if you liked it or not. And please feel free to ask more questions about this video as well. I will try to answer them in the future one if I will make it. If you are interested, you can also connect with me on the other platforms. I have Instagram account. You can also ask your questions there. I'm sometimes making this little window there for asking questions as well. In case you would like to support me, you can also find me on Patreon or on Buy Me a Coffee website. That's how you can support my channel. And just once again, I want to say a big thank you to you guys for being that supportive and for watching my videos and just being with me on this journey. I appreciate you a lot and I hope to see you really soon in my next videos. Bye!